Greetings, you hard-working red shirts who are secretly keeping the world running, and welcome back to Cosmoteer with me, Lathrix, and of course, welcome to the last time in this system. In the previous video, we managed to hit our cap in terms of fame, and destroyed most of the major enemies here, and now honestly, it's time for a new challenge. We're going to the map and going to a much more difficult area. So currently we are on 10 to 12, we can either go to 14 to 16, or 11 to 13. Honestly, I am very tempted to go a little bit mad and go to 14 to 16 after we make some upgrades to our crafts. One thing I really want to do is to bring the Malal's Wrath into a new era. There are a lot of building mistakes here, and honestly a lot of things I want to improve. One major thing is I want to bring the armor forward here and have two whole new sections. So I'm thinking the overall design is going to stay still quite insectoid, but it's going to advance quite a bit. These thrusters are going to be removed, and the armor is going to come out, and two new sections are going to be formed, making it a lot more pronounced at the front, probably connecting it and making the center section stronger as well. This then will eventually be moved forwards, and so on and so forth. We can do upgrades like this a lot. Admittedly, that doesn't look too great. It looks a bit bat-like, but you get the idea of what I really want to do. But first, we need to sort out these prisms. As I've done a lot of research in the background, and a lot of you have mentioned, these are just not made correctly. Right now, the basic rules are you shouldn't combine lasers of different strengths, and you shouldn't combine beams more than 2 to 1. So 2 beams into 1, and then so on and so forth. I've done both of these sins, so this needs to be fixed up so we make much more efficient prisms. Hopefully it won't be too difficult. I'm also tempted to add some prisms to the very front of the craft here so it can have some aiming, and then once those prisms are destroyed, well, then it goes back to how it worked before. Or maybe we can even have the beams... Oh wow, actually, one cool idea, perhaps, after I look at this for a second, is having the beams shoot out like this, and then have spikes on the edges here. Have one in the center, one here, that would look so cool. Maybe in the future. I do want to mess around with prisms more in the future with much larger craft. I've been waffling for way too long. I'll be right back once I've collected a lot of valuable scrap. There are corpses absolutely everywhere. Something like this, and then I want to extend the back as well, because what we really need are more forward-facing thrusters. It's the reason why we can't turn great when we get very close to the enemy, and the fact that we always ram the enemy, it's because every time we try to turn, we move forwards drastically. Which is fine, because we do want to be close to the enemy. Our weapons are inaccurate and are outranged by a lot. But it would be nice to be able to actually control this thing during combat, rather than just grabbing it with these mandibles and then hoping for the best. Hi everyone, Future Lathrix here, just to say that over the last few weeks there have been some video delays due to some water damage done to the house, which then in turn did some electrical damage, but thankfully that is all now completely fixed, and videos will be returning to a more normal schedule over the coming month, especially for things like Cosmoteer itself, Terratech, Stellaris, and of course Airships Conquer the Skies. Really trying to get those series finished and going to more games overall. I really want this year to be the year of more variety on the channel, since honestly, I'm just really enjoying gaming again lately, so I'm so happy to be getting into all of that. And, as one last thing, thank you so much for the support this series has continued to get. I know that long-form content in the form of long series aren't exactly the most popular things on YouTube at the moment, but I'm so happy for so many people to be sticking around with me. The likes, the comments, it really does mean the world to me. And now, I'm off to get some sleep, because this video took pretty much all day to record. It was weird, I thought it'd be just a couple of hours, but nope. I built way too many things and got really distracted, as you will very well see. How kind, something is here to donate some steel to the new craft. I've actually started upgrading, well, changing the Malal's Wrath, and it's offlined a lot of its systems right now, so it is up to our little Tzeentch boy here to defend us, for the time being. I've already fought enough of these to know, yeah, we can just brute force that. Ooh, that is a big corpse. I can see why I labelled it as big corpse. Because it is. Okay, well that's fantastic. That's going to be a lot of steel and a lot of rare resources for me. Not as much as I thought. Oh, am I full? I'm getting there. Okay, that is really weird to see the forge filling up. Honestly, I think I need to gut this and just completely replace it at some point. I've been harvesting for the last 30 or so minutes, also tweaking the design a bit. Originally I had something further out the back there, but we just need so much of this super expensive stuff. I think this is what we're going to go with for now, with the back section still incomplete, perhaps missiles in the future. But most importantly, with more cannons. Now, as for this, the basic rules, like I was saying earlier, which everyone yelled at me, is 2 to 1 and don't combine beams of different strengths. So 2, both go into 1, that one and that one, both go into this one, these two are then equal, both going towards the main prisms. We have the same over here, these two into this prism here, these two into this prism here, these both go into these two prisms, these two go into this prism, so they're all equal. I think. I have to double check to make sure none of these lasers are actually clipping the wrong ones. I don't think they are. I can test that by just turning them off one at a time. And then I am tempted to do lasers out here, which can actually aim at their own thing. So if we add some of these prisms, these can then manually aim themselves, which would be nice. Though I think likely what I'm going to do is completely gut this, eventually, when I have more money, make it a little bit stronger, and have them coming out of the sides and actually being able to aim, because I think that would actually go with the overall design really easily. Just increasing these spikes here on the edge, keeping this centerpiece here completely making this solid armor, so no more gap there, and then we aim like that. I think that would look utterly amazing. But for now, that's just how it is. Okay, we're about to jump. We are jumping to the next galaxy, because I need more of the expensive stuff over here, then over to here, and then we decide on the expensive options if we wish to pursue that. Just a few small fights getting from one side of the systems to the other. Some superficial damage. That's a lot of cannon shots. Oh yeah, I have absolutely no anti-shield stuff now. So it definitely needs to have its friends with it. The Malal's Wrath has become more dependent, but also it's not yet done. There's going to be at least 2 more sets of cannons, but as you can see, the damage is substantial. This is in quarter speed. And look, it can actually hold its position now during a fight. Just brute firepower. It's the most satisfying thing. Finally made it so. I need to clear up a lot of these areas, but okay, so now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have a full 10 cannons right now. More backwards thrusters than we had before. Yeah, lots of stuff we can now use. So I've moved these down. More armor here, more armor here. Definitely relying mostly on bulk armor. I've kind of done this weirdly with the large shield generator. The idea is once this armor goes, then the shield will cast forward. So I'm tempted to just remove at least some of this armor so you can see a little bit of the shield, so you can clip some of the damage coming through. Not too sure. Either way, so far in every fight, just this pillar of armor has been really effective at negating most enemy damage. Also, yeah, definitely need to redo the paint job of this thing, which is currently just all over the place. Need more crew as well. So I might, for the time being, turn off one of the Ravens, just have a skeleton crew for movement and nothing else. Okay, we've managed to get enough crew that we're at a decent level with the Wrath. We're slightly below what it recommends, but honestly, as long as you do the crew properly, that's never really too much of an issue. Obviously, the painting needs to be redone massively, and we need to redo this back section, which is looking a little bit weird right now. But this is definitely not its final form. I want the wings to once again be a bit more pronounced. They're looking a little bit stumpy with the new much larger, much more armoured body. I also want a reverse section of what's in the core here. So this is going to be mirrored down here eventually once everything is extended. So I'm thinking what we might do is leave these stumpy wings as they are, then have 2 more coming out at the bottom to finish off the design, since we do have a lot of space to play with here. For now, it's just a lump of metal just to protect everything. So I'm going to quickly redo the paint job, and then I'm going to skip ahead until we're in the more difficult zones. The Wrath is ready for its first proper test, now with 10 cannons. The Ravens are completely empty though in terms of their crew, so they're useless. I'm actually also considering scrapping the Ravens and making one larger missile craft, a proper third craft, which might be our Nurgle craft. It may seem a little bit weird for the theming, since Nurgle is normally meant to be more slow and lumbering and defensive, but we're running out of the gods to use here. We have Khorne, we have Tzeentch. Oh no, Slaanesh would make way more sense. Yeah, quick, aggressive, Alpha Strike, Slaanesh. That's going to be a weird looking ship for anyone who knows the reference I'm making. I'm realising I don't like this paint scheme anymore. I was just going to clean it up. I've just added some more stripes to the back, extended it all. I don't think it works on the look of this design anymore. I'm gonna have to start from scratch with the Wrath. Okay, so maybe I'll go more Malal theme this time, as its name suggests, which is purely black and white, one side being one side being the other. Or maybe I'll just go more distinct. I think the issue is we have lots of gaps in the armor. I've done this because I like the style of that kind of thing, but it's also very broken up when it comes to painting it up together. So I'm thinking maybe painting the core black or brown, this centerpiece, and then having each section its own color. Make it more distinct. Well, I'm gonna be here for the next hour or two. Okay, so since the shape's so weird, I think I'm going to double down on the whole 3D aspect. So we have this top section here. We're going to try and make this bit here a bit more glowy. This is where all the command section is and everything else, and our tractor beam, which I keep on forgetting I even have at the moment. Then I'm going to have all the cannons in one more section directly underneath. Then the rest will be flat and have its own color scheme. So I think the next layer is going to be the same color as this. It's kind of like greyish, slightly brownish metal, just a little bit lighter, and then the rest will be black and white, or maybe some red, not too sure. Okay, so I tried loads of different things, and this is the one I ended up just really liking, because it looks clean, which for me is a very rare thing. It has the lighter armor underneath. Oh god, I need to do that armor again, because I've obviously done that wrong, but either way, it has the armor underneath, then it has the slightly raised section containing a lot of the armaments and everything else, and then the main section here with the bridge and all of the more critical components. And I really like how it looks, honestly. And once we have an extra set of wings as well, which will be a lot bigger, I think continuing this type of shape, I think will just look clean, and it's nice and obvious what's going on, even from a distance, which again, isn't my normal strength. Definitely looks a lot more different than it used to. Either way though, it's time to finally go to a more difficult zone. Decided to make it a little bit more red, and yeah, I think that pops a lot more now. Okay, all together. Okay, going to the 14 to 16 area. So one thing I am terrified of is that things are likely now going to start trying to kite us. There's going to be a lot more railguns, a lot more missiles, and honestly, the Wrath is pretty slow, if well defended. The still unnamed ship, I swear, as soon as I get some missions, I will finally name this, isn't particularly quick either. We can try to flank them with one tanking, then the other one going around, but it's going to be... This is going to be eye-opening, I imagine. We are now here with the Cult of Sol, or whatever they're called. The Cabal? The Cabal of Sol. Sol. Our first Sol ship is the Witness, a little carrier by the looks of things. Off it goes into the sunset. Going after our first bounty. Okay, there it is. That detected us very quickly. I am so nervous about this first fight as I accidentally bring an asteroid with me. Well, great start there, me. It's going towards the smaller craft. Okay, never mind, though, we don't have time for this. Okay, so what is it? I saw some missiles then. We have lots of flak? Loads of flak. Oh, that's trying to capture an enemy, isn't it? Look, yeah, all that very close quarters weaponry. Okay. Shields all kind of hidden here. These are large shields though, aren't they? Okay, so the center's well protected. Trying to go from this angle is probably best for me. Don't want to be too close though, because the flak. Actually, don't want to be in the range of the flak at all. Okay, now I have no idea who's actually going for it. Yep, definitely going for me. Never mind, let's stop you. Well, it's going to do a big old turn there. That means we're going to get some time attacking from behind, which is great. Hopefully we can destroy it before it does too much damage to us. Come on, hit that flak, hit that flak. Yes, that's what I wanted to see. Melt it away. And all of that cannon fire at the back, the Wrath doing fantastically there. Okay, let's twizzle a little bit. Yeah, I can see the flak firing. Wow, flak's got longer range than I expected. Yeah, all these little hits look insane. I really need to mess around with flak at some point. It does seem very fun. I'd love a proper brawler like that. Turn faster, please. Thank you. Okay, that's gone now. Okay, the Liberator is gone. Pretty clean fight. I think the Tzeentch is crafted really well there. I think the Milal's Wrath proved its pure damage potential very high. And Corpse the First is now here. Or Corpse Eye as it looks. And with that, we'll get a nice big old chunk of fame. Yeah, lovely chunk of fame there. Beautiful. 29 new crew members because of that, just for my first mission. Let's go back, make sure everything's all sorted on both of our ships. I think only superficial damage? Yep. And they'll go after our second bounty. Hellfire. Whoa. Whoa, okay, Sol, how cool is that? I don't really think you need my help all that much, mate, honestly. Save your ammo, no need to fire. Damn, that thing is awesome. Well, yeah, I absolutely love that. That is insane. Loads of shields there. So it's forgoing a lot of damage there by the looks of things for just a lot more shielding. A lot more protection. So mostly just using pretty basic weaponry. It does have a prism there. So, I mean, that's a decent amount. Ah, see? 2 to 1. And then 2 to 1. See, I'm learning. Oh, that's really awesomely placed. Look, there's the chunk of armor. That goes into the corner there. And that's going to be able to swivel. I think we're looking at what my final designs might look like. Because that is doing every principle I really like. I'm not good at them, but definitely something I want to work on. Mad respect for that crazy little thing. We've ran into another Hellfire. Not exactly a good positioning here because, well, we just kind of saw it happen and rushed in. We've almost carved all the way through to that large reactor. There we go, now you can fire again. I wonder if it'd be better during a fight just to have these all permanently on, so we didn't have to have that charge up constantly. Because you can hotkey specific weapons. I might do that in the future once I do a redesign of this, because I do really want to do a redesign based on the ship we saw earlier. Because that thing was immensely cool. There we go. Goodbye, Hellfire. Hello, Corpse number 3. Same as before, another Liberator down. Collecting from the corpses, and we are getting so much. We have a lot of the rare materials we were missing before, so I'm thinking another major upgrade in this video. I'm still not too happy with the Milal's Wrath. I need strafing thrusters for a start, that's the next thing I'll do. I also am not too fan of the design, I think it looks a bit too generic at the moment. I will go back to it being a bit more insectoid when I add the back section. I'm also going to add some more front mandible stuff again, so don't worry, this is a chrysalis stage, let's say. But yeah, I really, really want to upgrade this, and when I upgrade it, that's when I'm going to give it its new name. So I'm thinking I'm going to do is completely gutting this core. Completely gutting it. I've seen a lot of mistakes with it for a start, and also I don't like how it works currently. And then I'm going to have the beams shoot out the 2 sides, here and here, and then fire forwards from the end. It will make them a bit more vulnerable, but it will mean the lasers can go exactly where I want to point them, and that's going to be really nice during gameplay. This front section will be armoured up, and then I'll have a small section at the front, which is probably going to use some EMP weaponry, probably just the basic disruptors, and then some basic point defense. So we have a kind of shell here with those, then the beams here being protected by shields. I think that's what it's going to look like. It's going to look a bit Mantis-like if it goes according to plan. Oh, do not go to there, please. This is why I sent the Raven to explore, because it's faster than everything else. There we go, the first of the Sol stations. Boy, do they love their circles. Ooh, that's a lot of fame you give. Okay, I don't like doing the packs, loads of small craft. I find those fights incredibly annoying, so I'm just going to go with the fugitive bounties. Before we leave here, we definitely need to destroy some bases, though. Both of the stations I found both really, really want us to go ahead and do that. Okay, there's also another station, apparently, so that's neat. Where is the other station? I don't know. Maybe I should have actually read it. Is it even in this system? Okay, I'll figure that out in a second. That's no worry. Okay, I think I'll get my ships over here then, and we'll start doing some bounties for Sol. Well, that's horrifying. Thank you, Ravens. That was actually a really good shot. I'm going to try and go for that prism. I don't know if my first shots will get through, but it will give me time to get the Tzeentch craft around it. I've ordered my Wrath to basically, yep, ram right into it. That'll stop it from being able to move. Ah, the accuracy of those cannons is so poor. Perfect, that's exactly where I want you to be. A few of the cannon shots are actually getting through, but it's not enough of them. Oh, a direct hit then just on the prism. One more. You know what? The Wrath is brilliant. The Wrath is fantastic. I love the Wrath. Thank you, Wrath. That's the main weapon gone. And now my Tzeentch craft is there to try and melt towards its last reactor. Well, it's not its last reactor, but its last main target. Oh, I'm being span around by the Vega. Apparently that thing actually has more turning capability than we do. Our Ravens are currently basically unmanned, so they're not really able to fire right now, except for that first little volley they had. Just put pressure on it. As long as one of our craft has a direct bit of access to the reactor, it doesn't really matter which. Did I reload this thing when I got here? I don't think I rearmed it, no. Oh, some serious lag out of nowhere there. I'm going to pause the game for a second, let that resolve. Still major lag. Why, did something explode? Whoa, the game is crawling at the moment. Now, I know there's actually a better way of turning it, I just don't know how to do the control. Essentially, you don't actually have to press this button here. I will look into that for the next few fights once I upgrade this craft. It's so annoyingly close. Come on, can one of you just get one shot through? That's all I want. There we go. Goodbye to the Vega. And look at how much scrap that's going to be worth as it splits into two. Well done to the Wrath, though, for getting through all those shields on that point defense. Well, shows the heavy armament there, he does help out. Turns out the lag was because the Forge just jumped in. That's what caused all the lag. Also, yeah, the Wrath has ran out of ammo because I didn't restock it for like 3 fights. This thing was worth an absolute fortune. For once, I've jumped on over to creative mode in order to completely revamp the Tzeentch craft before I end up naming it. So, just as a general idea then, we're going to have only 2 of the ion prism beams rather than 3. They're going to go out here, then point up slightly, and go somewhere like that. At the front, that's where we're going to have the disruptors and everything else. Actually, I might have them like that as well then. Maybe like a kind of more there at the front, similar to what we've been seeing from other enemy designs. That would also allow us to protect everything pretty easily with our shields. But that's the next part. First of all, let's just sort out the ion, because this is going to be a nightmare for my feeble brain to try and remember all the rules I've been trying to learn with this. So each of these beams are being generated from 8 of the ion beam emitters. I just want to see how this will work then. So we have the Manal's Wrath, the old version that is change the allegiance to Pirate for a second. That's pretty cool. That is very, very cool. That is so much so much more fun watching than trying to target this thing manually. Okay, yep, definitely going with this. Likely this is going to be a lot bigger than its predecessor. I'm thinking here we can have a large reactor and then all the weaponry like that. Way more thrusters than before as well, so it's significantly quicker and far faster at turning everything else. It can even strafe, unlike pretty much every design I've built lately, so that's nice as well. So I'm thinking these two should come back. Something like this. Just for looks. Then... I don't really know, actually. These do need their arc. I want significant defenses here, though. I guess the point defense and everything else is going to be quite light. Since I want all of this to be armor, essentially. Or at least very well defended. I'm thinking maybe making it look like a completely separate section. It's going to lose its front spikes almost completely if I do this. But it will be significantly more powerful like this. That's what I think I'll do. So leave this empty. Don't need these bunks here. Bear in mind, pretty much everything here is currently temporary since we're in the creative mode, so I've been placing things down constantly. One large reactor there. Shields on both sides. But then this, it becomes very, very vulnerable. That's the issue. This ion is going to be so easy to destroy. Maybe some defenses here. Oh. That's what we could do. Make sure this section here is shielded. Might remove this thruster section then. Then downgrade those reactors. So we have the two sets of lasers. We're going to mix in some heavy laser blasters and disruptors. Have one more section here at the front. This will all just be armor, honestly, mostly. I don't really know what I'm going to do in the center. Could just be another thruster section, which wouldn't be too bad, actually. That would really allow us to turn and move backwards very, very quickly. Or, we could go a bit mad. And we could use this middle section here for another smaller ion beam section, which will feed into a third at the front. But I feel like that's maybe pushing it a bit too far. It's not as well defended as I was hoping it would be, but the damage is very substantial, especially at picking off weak points. Then lots and lots of EMP. Or at least enough, I should say. Not huge amounts, but hopefully it'll be enough to take out some basic level shields. It looks almost organic, like one of those Terraria creatures, the flying ones who spread the corruption. I don't know their name, perhaps it is just Corruptor. It's been a very long time since I played Terraria. I'll spend some time later on giving this thing a proper paint job. For now, I just want to make sure it has the right colour scheme as it had before. Which it basically does, a little bit of gold here and there, light blue, and then a faded blue as a background. I'll give it a proper 3D effect and everything else later. It's got a little bit here in the corner, well, in the centre, but that's pretty much it. About to send it out for its first proper test. Honestly, really nervous against a proper enemy. The Malal's Wrath is strong, as in just sheer damage, but it's countered easily. I'm very nervous. Well, here goes our first proper test. Get the beams charged up before the fight starts. Okay, we see the very edges already appear. Flak batteries, heavy blasters. Whoa, loads of heavy blasters. What's at the back here? There's its main reactor, I suppose, with all the command stuff. Though there are some heavy reactors there and there. If I went for that, I'd have to get through the shields, maybe even the armor. Oh, this is all armor, isn't it? That's what we're gonna have trouble with. That's not too much shielding. I think maybe with the limited EMP we have, maybe, yeah, where I'm targeting currently might be the right choice. There's that EMP going forwards. Yeah, that completely took out the shields. At least one of them went down straight away there. Oh, they are focusing my prism. Wow. That was pretty bad for us. Good to know that the prisms on the side definitely need more protection. Yet there it goes. We're getting there though. There we go. A huge chunk of them just went bye-bye. We will dissect it. Okay, our first rank 15 victory with this thing. Wow, that focus fire it had at the start was really impressive. I guess that's the strength of those heavy blasters like that. Wasn't too much damage really we took, just straight away a prism went down. Okay, we need to protect that better. It does not have enough shielding for it. I could easily put some shielding in here or perhaps armor it up. What I could do is try and armor up here more. So my thinking is, this will massively limit my firing arc, but if I do something like that, only direct shots in like this will then hit it, and this, as long as it's focused like that shouldn't be too much of an issue. I might do that. Either way, big corpse. Okay, so its backside is incredibly vulnerable. Loads and loads of beams. Yeah, absolutely insane amount of beams, all focused here. I love how it's done this staggered shield. Okay, what I'm thinking is focus more on one side than the other. Try and stay decently far back and try and tilt a little bit. I don't want those beams hitting here. I'd rather them go through here. You two, just run forwards as fast as you can, which thankfully is pretty quick with these things. Then once you're past the enemy, does he have much point defense? Yes, on both sides. Okay. Our beams are only just now targeting. They'll do some damage. Hopefully, the EMP and HE will do something to slow down the enemy. Maybe it's shields or something? I saw one high explosive collider I wanted it to, but not enough. Okay, its thrusters are damaged pretty badly there. Come on, high explosive! So close to doing what I want you to do! Some damage to the prisms, not enough. Yeah, I really need a much larger missile craft. Yes! There we go! I mean, this showed the power of the Ravens more than anything else, but, I mean, that was it. That was all I needed to do, I think. Stay where you are. Do a twizzle. In fact, I'm going to change the weapons for a second, put them on a target, and where's their command rooms? That's all we need to take out, right? There's a hyperdrive. Where are their command sections? Dink. And I'm guessing one on the other side. Dink. You're not really aiming where I want you to there. Gotta be honest with you. Because I wasn't controlling the ship at that point. Because I'm a dum-dum. Well, a lot of valuable scrap's gonna be removed, but still. Well done, birdie birds. Yeah, now you're going for the right thing. There we go. That was a really cool designed enemy, and I feel a bit mean for how we just beat that, but that was the whole point of the Ravens. They have that lovely alpha strike and then a slow trickle of missiles afterwards, though actually everything is reloaded. This is a good combo. These three make a very good combo, probably better than the Wrath. Definitely still some things to work on with this, but overall I'm very happy with it. I think the damage is good, I think it's a very fun craft to use, and I'm definitely going to be making a Slaanesh new missile craft in the next video. So we have Khorne, we have Malal, we have Tzeentch, that'll become Slaanesh, and actually I am considering completely redoing the Malal's Wrath. Although we spent so much time working on it today, hours and hours in fact, I'm still really not happy with it, and I'm thinking maybe it should be just a tank, maybe a flak, and become Nurgle. It's weird that Khorne has become our, factory. But sometimes, weird things just happen. And now let's give it back its crew. Well, I'm going to be calling the episode there. I think we've made some good progress. We're now in a much more difficult area, and we're still doing very, very well. I may jump difficulty a little bit earlier this time, because I do want to see the really terrifying enemies using nukes, the enemies which will kite us, and all sorts of other more meta things. At the moment, I think we are winning through sheer brute force, although I am very happy with this design. Also love how it looks in the end. I was really worried about it, but now it looks so organic and everything, which is totally on theme for Tzeentch, since it's all about mutation and change and everything else. That makes me really, really happy. I'm definitely going to double down on the fact that the centre there looks like an eye. So the Corruptor of Tzeentch, our newest addition, going to be removing the Ravens in the next episode and probably changing the Malal's Wrath into a Nurgle-themed one with defense in mind. Kind of flipping the design, in fact. Maybe with a thinner backside, but then a kind of very wide front with loads of armor and shielding and everything else to take the brunt of damage. Slaanesh's forces at the back firing the missiles and the Alpha Strike, and then the Corruptor doing the overall DPS of our forces. So with that, thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed today's video, then of course, likes, favourites, shares, comments, all that good stuff helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that Cosmoteer is a series you wish to see continued in the future. I had so much fun today. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.